James Pelton here. Happy Wednesday, everyone. We are on the lookout for passive income streams. We have Nugget Fund here today, and we're going to just ask all the questions. We're going to figure out, hey, is this a place that is worth putting some money, a little bit of money, a lot of money? We're going to ask all the questions. Need your guys' help. First off, if you're watching, hit the like button. The currency of YouTubers, somewhat BNB hitting all-time highs. I prefer likes. I'd take 500 likes over 500 BNB. So no, I'm just kidding about that. That'd be a lot of money. So no, I'll take the BNB. But we do want likes. So please hit like. If you have any questions, please ask the questions. Ask the hard questions. Let's get to the bottom of all what's going on here with Nugget Fund and how it's going. We got Justin, of course, familiar face. We'll do introductions here. Lazy Dog, I don't know if he's here or just Mike or what, but we'll see. But let's start with introductions. Justin, probably don't need a ton of introduction, but just tell us a quick little about yourself, then we'll go over to Marcelo.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. But anyways, Justin, I'm been in the YouTube space a few years now. We've had a few little chats, you and I, even on live. So you guys, most of you might know my story. But other than that, I'm just here to support what we're trying to do with Nugget and give people some info. So I'll keep it short and sweet, and you guys can go from there.
Awesome. And then over to Marcelo.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys have probably seen me around. Was working with hybrid finance for about 2.5 years. It's been a journey. Most of the bear was what we were working with, but yeah, still around, and now have migrated over to Nugget Fund. Moved quite a few members of hybrid over to Nugget, and eventually it'll be 100%. But
including
yeah,
James, which we'll show later.
Including James, yes.
And just because Marcelo sells himself short, with hybrid bond, he actually took something that failed in a sense and was not doing well, and then brought it to profit for everyone who was invested, which we have not seen that much in the space. So I just wanted to be his cheerleader for a second because he's terrible at it, as am I for myself.
Thank you for that.
But yeah, he's done a great job of really of managing that, and now in turn taken all those wins, taken all those learnings, and we've created something pretty special, I think.
Absolutely. And then Lazy Dog, are you there?
I am, if you can hear me.
Yeah, you're loud and clear. You sound great.
Excellent. Well, thanks for having us today. This is really awesome, and thrilled to be here. To a bit of background, I've been in crypto for over 2.5 years, gone through all the pains that everybody does, learning and figuring it out. And about November of last year, I realized one of the best ways that I could prevent myself from being rugged or stolen from was to have the project myself. And so I had a concept for a project I wanted to bring about with real world assets, and ended up bumping into Marcelo, and he and I talked and realized that our goals and what we were trying to accomplish were just matched up perfectly. So he and I partnered in December, and we started building this thing. And on February 29th, we launched it with a pre-sale result of a massive $3,000 that has now grown to over 300,000 under management, which we're honored and thrilled to manage. And I think where we're at is just awesome and performing well, and we're looking for a multi-years to come out of this.
Okay, very good. Excited to talk through it and get all the questions answered. So maybe Marcelo, we'll go to you for this one. But again, assuming some of the people here never heard of Nugget Fund, like what in the world is that? So do you want to give kind of an elevator pitch of what Nugget Fund is, what you're looking to do?
Yeah. So the simplest form of it would be we want to give everyone an opportunity to, get. I guess that's why they're here, to get that passive income, and to do it in a way that is honest, real. There's really no like what's it called? No Ponzi-nomics or anything like that. We just do our strategies. We have a few of them. Now we have you have right there in front of us, the 4 of them. Cryptocurrency mining is coming up. There's a few things that came up, and we'll probably get into that here in a little bit, that kind of put that to the side for probably for a week or two, just so we had to build up some things for the bot trading side. But yeah, we concentrate on bot trading, yield farming, and hopefully once we get large enough that our compounds actually make somewhat of a difference, we can start going into the real world investments as well. Outside of like mining and different things like that, we want to kind of go bigger. Think real estate, businesses, and things like that. But yeah, you just come in to Nugget Fund, you mint Nugget. That's our token. It is not liquid, so it's more of it's like a placeholder, really. Though it is growing in value based on our treasury growing, and you stake that and just
Away
get
you go.
USDC every week. You have to come in and claim it. We're changing some things there, so that you can get some compounding done. I always tell people not to compound 100%, even into that helps us make more money, but you shouldn't. Take your returns, enjoy them, invest in other things. But eventually we'll have compounding in there as well, so that they can make it nice and easy for everyone.
Just 'cause
Okay.
people keep asking for it, but again, I agree with Marcelo. I really suggest because we're already doing it built into the protocol, which is kind of handy, because it's already done with 20% of what we earn in a week goes back in to help prop up the price, all kinds of different things in that mechanics to help the sustainability of everything. And a
Okay.
couple, I guess, one quick thing, sorry, James, before we
Sure.
move
No, go
on,
ahead.
is the other big thing with this is accountability. There's a team here. It's not just one person. I don't want to get into other things, obviously, but I do think it's important to mention with things going on in the space that most projects we see that fail, the accountability is left on one person's back, and that one person maybe has something happen and the cards fall and they don't have any accountability to anybody. They don't have any transparency to anybody. So everything's gone. Or it takes too long to find a solution with us. We do have the accountability of the 3 of us. We also have Snorky Pie, who is in the audience there, who said, "What up?" And then we have Liquidity Farmer as well with us as part of the team as well. They're just a little shyer than we are. But the funds are spread out between them. I don't actually hold any funds. So another little thing that could come up during this whole conversation. But I do have access to the wallets, or at least, sorry, not access to the wallets. I have access to viewing the wallets to make sure I help hold the rest of the team accountable. So if something happens, there's a lot of checkpoints that we haven't seen in this space from any other project that I've seen, or at least not that's lasted long enough to make it go farther. So anyways.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's a very important distinction to make, having
Mhm.
access to the wallets and having access to see the wallets.
Yeah.
So no, thank you for
Oh,
clarifying that. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start by walking through some of these. So cryptocurrency mining. Whoever feels most up to talking about that, do you want to kind of talk about it? Are you going to be doing Bitcoin mining, Caspa mining, a combination? What's the plan there?
Marcelo.
Yeah. So this is pretty much what we're going to continue doing. What we were doing with hybrid. It's not going to be pure Bitcoin, pure Caspa, or something like that. We are we're going to be moving forward with mining in a different way. It's something new that's coming out, which is coming out because of the Shiny Jackal bots as well. It's called the Cell. With mining, our first endeavor will most likely be where people purchase their own miners. They'll have fractional ownership of the mining rig. And most likely that'll be Caspa first, but we will have different cells. So it won't be as diversified as hybrid was, where you just had a bag. We had I think 5 miners, and I just managed all of them, and then eventually just pay out to people. But with this, you would get a choice. If you believe in Caspa more than you do. So we're pretty much looking at the new Caspa miners and the new L9, which would be the Doge Litecoin miner. They seem to be the most profitable. There's also Nervos Network, but that's it's a little riskier on that one, riskier than Caspa, even though Caspa is pretty risky already. But yeah, it will be something like that. They'll have a choice. And then eventually we will have our own miners, which will get fed into the Nugget Fund earnings as we grow.
Yeah, the big thing right now is the trade. The stuff that's happening inside Nugget right now is the trading, and that's done through Shiny Jackal, and then the yield farming, which is done by the rest of the team. Basically, has a little piece of all of that. We can get into more detail on that, but and then the crypto mining will become part of Nugget as a whole, so that we have that diversification as well as the real world assets. But our focus right now is those two, just because they're the easy real assets inside DeFi, where we can start kind of building things without getting too much of a capital built up, like while we're early stages kind of thing.
And it keeps us liquid.
Yeah,
And
it keeps you liquid.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I think I'm going to jump in on the trading strategies. Marcelo is a little bit more the expert here, but I wanted to jump in because we've had a really amazing development happen within the last week or so, and that was we have been in talks with Shiny Jackal for a while, and we have now come to an exclusive agreement with him to be his portal of access to get to use his trading bots and his team skill set. We have created 3 ways that people can do that. The first and the easiest is just by Nugget. He has been trading for us for a while, and he is doing our bot trading almost exclusively for the program. But the second, jumping to the top side, we opened up a few days ago. If anybody wants to trade with him but control and manage their own funds completely, we have a program where you can go to our Nugget Trading Discord, and if you deposit $20,000 into an account, you can make arrangements with him directly in his team, and he will start trading those, but you will have full control of all of those funds. And the third is what Marcelo and that was talking about is under our real world investment side, we are and have developed this cell concept, which if anybody hasn't recognized by now, our whole theme is an Old West 1850s theme. So the cell is for the sheriff and the jailhouse, where we're going to be locking up your funds and utilizing it to make you returns. So the very first cell that is going to release is going to be for Shiny Jackal. People will be able to invest as little as $500 and as much as they want up to the hard cap. There is a $200,000 soft cap to be able to make this viable with him, but you're going to be able to deposit very soon. It's in the final stages of testing. And at that point in time, you're going to be able to make your deposits. When we hit the soft cap, Shiny is going to take that money and start trading it. And it will be a split 10% between Shiny and Nugget Fund for the fees and 90% to the investors in that cell. So Nugget Fund benefits, but you can focus specifically on mining if you don't like our broad-based investment strategy that Nugget uses as their base concept. Into the future, those cells, I'm going to release a little alpha here from Marcelo's comments. The next cell that's going to come out probably is going to be one where you can invest into the miner. And we haven't decided exactly which one we're going to do yet, so we're going to have to watch for that to be released. But long term, also, as he said, we're in talks with a company who is going to be able to offer us some great deals on real estate investments, where we're going to have some really excellent margins long term. But the caps on those are going to be pretty significant. So we're kind of holding off on those for a little while yet to get Nugget built up and strong.
The big thing, just to kind of encompass all those points, is with Nugget, there is our base Nugget token. That is where you get into a whole ecosystem. That's where you're diversified in all of it. But we did want to give people choice, especially after things that have happened. Some people maybe just want to mine. Some people maybe just want to bot trade. And maybe down the road, maybe there'll be liquidity farming options for people, but there's some of that already out in the space. The big thing is real bot stuff. Obviously, we've seen go by the wayside and not be managed as well. Sorry. And then the mining side, again, we've seen a lot of different things maybe work a little bit oddly. So we've got these systems where we can set this up. It's not really that much. I mean, it's more work for our dev. So Snarky will have a comment to that, but at least it gives the options for choice without over leveraging our time, our assets, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Programmers always being thrown under the bus. Hey, it's no problem. We're gonna go ahead and do this.
Yeah,
And the devs
easy
like, "Oh,
peasy.
no."
Just click little buttons, and it all
Like,
shows up in front of me.
Yeah, don't you just ask Chat GPT now, Snorky? I mean, you don't really have to do anything anymore. That's what I understand.
Oh,
It's like,
don't we
it'll
wish?
take weeks to do that.
Yeah, don't we wish?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, no, that sounds great. So we got the cryptocurrency mining, the trading strategies with Shiny Jackal, which if Shiny Jackal decides to leave for some reason, you will let the community know. That's a big thing.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'm never. I told this to the team. Well, I've spoken this to the team, and I think Shiny might know, but like I'm gonna try my best to never let go. Like I remember with hybrid, we were all doing the whole FTX thing, and Shiny was kind of like, oh, after this, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then he signed up with Warfi, and I remember being in the teams like, why don't we get like Shiny to work with us? And that time they were like, oh, I don't know about bot trading, blah blah blah. And then Warfi took him, and now we finally have him. I'm like, no, he's
not going anywhere.
But
and we've
yes,
had some really good chats. Like he's a really smart guy, and I really do appreciate the value he adds in the space and what he's trying to do. And we've actually gotten a lot closer, obviously, over the last little bit, which I've appreciated. We share a lot of commonalities in what we desire and what we want for the space, which in turn is shared with Nugget. So it's been a really good relationship. And he's already announced. Obviously, anything happens on his side, he won't. If we don't come out with it, he's coming out with it. So again, this all comes down to accountability, and I don't want to dwell on this too much, but the accountability is what matters and what should be available in this space to all of us, because we're asking people to trust so much. The only missing piece with most of these problems is accountability. So
yeah.
Well, to add to that a little pocket, the biggest thing that really amazes me about how this team has come together is that every person on this team is expert at the part that they do and that they play. And it's really great to see how we've gelled together, come together, and each taken our place and doing our thing. And, Shiny, we were thrilled to have him because, Pocket is absolutely right. He's just an expert at what he does. Marcel has known that for a long time and proven that. And, and then kind of drifting over to the yield farm side the same way. I was very lucky to have a guy that I knew who was just a phenomenal yield farmer agree to come on board, which I never expected he did, because he truly makes so much money personally yield farming. I didn't think he would want to come in and get started on his team, but he did, and he has just taught Marcelo and myself so much about yield farming and how to maximize it. And I know we get questions all the time in the Discord about how are you guys returning these returns day in and day out. And a lot of it's due to him. He has really taught us how to maximize our rewards on farming, and it has really changed what we were doing at the very beginning with that part. So just to get it again, a real blessing to the program.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Nope. I love that. Okay, so that's the mining and that's the trading strategies. Can you tell us just a tiny bit about the yield farming? Is it just a normal kind of yield farming strategy, doing a combination of higher risk stuff, lower risk stuff, and who's in charge of that? Tell us a little bit about the yield farming side.
Nobody's in charge. There's three of us. But go ahead, Marcelo.
The three of us are kind of playing with it. Not playing with it, but yeah, like, we're playing with it. Like we throw things here and there.
Messing around a little bit. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, like honestly, well, it's no secret because I've already let it out of the bag within an announcement what we yield farm. We don't yield farm anything that's degen, nothing really new. It's ETH and Solana. Um, and a couple other things like here and there we have some stable things, but most of the yield comes from doing Ethereum and Solana yield farming. Nothing degen. I always, with a hybrid, I also kind of stress that I didn't want. I guess the miners were probably the most degen part of hybrid, and looking back, because Caspa and Nervos, none of those, they're tiny. Oh, they used to be tiny, but yeah, no, we farm blue chips and just optimize and have become pretty efficient at getting those returns from those. And
Okay. And
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
So oh,
I was
I was
just going to
just going to
ask what
say,
the main. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say real quick. Marcelo is our alpha leaker. You've got to watch him closely. He'll give any of it away for a good comment.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and just to cut off, I'm sure this will be a question that'll come from that. We don't like to go much deeper into that for the risks of being front run and other challenges to what we're doing with farming, because we do have a lot of money, and in the future we're going to have a whole lot more in there. So we are a little protective of that information, even though we're as transparent as we can be. But sorry, James, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's totally fine. I was just wondering if there's a particular platform or if you're spreading it out among different places, or what's where all you're doing that.
Spreading
Again,
out.
a little, yeah, we spread it
We
out,
won't
and
say
again
which
in our.
platforms,
Oops, sorry.
because then it's easy to find
Mm-hmm.
which ones we're doing. But anyways, we spread out, and it changes. It changes a bit, like every day or so. Like
Well, just like
one
trading, there's
platform
ebbs and
will be
flows.
yielding more than the other one, so you have
Yeah.
to move stuff around. Even within the fee structure, because you have different fees, different pool. I don't know how to say, but different fees for each pool, where you set up like how much you want to pay for how the slippage and everything like that. It changes every day. So yeah, and yeah, we can't name the platforms because
Okay.
it'll be very easy to
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, no problem. But it's an actively managed yield farming. So it's not
100%.
just a set it or let it, but you're moving it around and finding the best deals and best liquidity positions.
And again, just along that, James, just to
Yeah.
kind of give some clarity to that, is there's again accountability here, because inside our personal chat, every day they're dropping the list of, okay, here's what I farmed, here's what yields I got from that. So we're seeing exactly how that money's flowing among the team, at least. And again, can be checked and verified through the wallets. So it just allows us to have that extra kind of access, and it helps each of them learn more from each other and start trying to fine tune ways to make more revenue and that kind of stuff from it. So it's been really neat to watch and see. I've been doing my own trading, so I've just more been watching this, but at some point I'd like to learn that too, because I think it's pretty neat. And again, it's one of the most legit ways to make money in DeFi. So
true original DeFi.
Yeah.
So love it.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned this is going to be more in the future. You kind of talked about real estate. Is there a plan in place for the real world investments, or it's just that's kind of our goal once we get to a certain stage? Or what? Tell us about the real world investments.
that's Lazy's wheelhouse, I believe.
Yeah, there is a plan. It's a tenuous plan right now, just due to a dollar factor. Like I had said, we have a gentleman that we've been in talks with for a very long time, who has the ability to offer us a great variety of real estate opportunities. But again, the challenge is, at this point of our growth cycle, we can't just bleed that off into a sell. We really want to get the base Nugget built up when it can support that internally. We believe, we all believe in the project. We're all investors in the project, but we also believe that when we develop cells that are larger, we think that Nugget Fund should be investing into those out of the Treasury, and we're not ready to do that yet at this point in time. But I am the head for that, basically, because my history for quite a while, over 2 decades, is real estate. Just about anything you can think of, mention, or do in residential real estate. I've done it, been there. I had my real estate license for over 15 years. I still hold it. So still do a lot of stuff there. And one of the other members of our team does a lot in personal real estate also. So between the two of us, we're always going to be looking for opportunities. And you will see those, but I think that without giving away alpha, because it's not even alpha yet, I think they're probably a good 6 months away for our first real estate offering on that side.
Yeah, the
Okay.
TVL has a big factor on when and where we can get into that, and how much we can leverage it, and whether, like, there's lots of hoops still for that.
Yep. Absolutely. What's before alpha? I don't even know. That's the beginning. So pre-alpha.
Pre-alpha. I was about to say that.
Pre-alpha.
Supernova.
Yeah. Supernova. There you go.
Secret.
There you go.
Secret.
All right. So we've got these kind of 4 revenue streams, 3 up and running right now, and then 1 that's kind of coming up. What kind of returns should people expect? Again, this is not a guarantee. Past performance is never indicative of future results. But how should people think through this? Are we talking 300% a month? Are we talking? I mean, what kind of what's the estimated returns that we're looking at?
Go ahead, Marcelo.
We are, and this is real numbers up to today. We are averaging 3.63% a week. We had a really nice week way back in March, but pretty much around, like, and there's no promises. This week might be a little lower. Actually, the volume, the yield with the yield farming was pretty bad for most of the week. Kind of picked up today, but yeah,
And the
around
bots may kind of offset
3.
some of that sometimes, but it depends on when we get to pull profits from them.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's the thing. So we have weekly epochs. Like with hybrid, we had monthly. So I could always, the bots would bring in some kind of funds within the month, but within the week you might just get like 1 trade finished. But once we have more funds into the bots, that will change as well, because we'll be more diversified. But yeah, around the 2.5 to 3%. If you get higher than that, awesome. If it's a little lower than that, that's
Still good.
what it is.
Yep.
Well, let me
I never
jump in a
promised
second.
anything. It's just real yield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, just to let people know, if you come to our Discord, there is a channel on there where we post our price updates every day since the day we've started. You can see exactly what we've returned to our users. Now, the other thing that's unique to our fund on returns is before it goes to them and the numbers you see there, we actually peel off 20% of the rewards and compound them back into the program, because one of the concepts that I was really firm on when we put this together, and I was talking to Marcelo, was I wanted the value of this project to consistently, hopefully, climb, go up, and entice people not to come in for 2 weeks for rewards and then disappear. We wanted to have people buy our token, stay with us for 3, 4, 5+ years, build up wealth, and then be able to take out a real honest amount of money years later if they want to buy a house or do something else. And we've really done real well doing that, and we're going to continue because that's a core part of our project.
Yeah, it might be a good time, James, to pull up the website, and because I think you have some funds that were switched over from hybrid, and somebody did ask that question, so it's probably also a good time to go into that. But inside yours, as you can see, you have 66. I was just trying to see when I told you to stake that when we pulled them over. So it was about,
I do not remember.
It's not quite a month, I don't think. It's been a few weeks. And so as you can see, you have that $66.61 that have accumulated from rewards. So the really neat thing, and what Lazy was getting into, is the funds go in there. As long as you get them in by Thursday at midnight Eastern time, you are part of the next epoch. So the next Thursday, you will have funds there waiting for you that you'll be able to claim. And as you can see, that works amazing. It's like,
yeah, it just
quick.
Came into my wallet as USDC. I just got it, $67.
Yeah. So, and then you can choose what you want to do with that, whatever, or buy more, or whatever. And so the nice thing here is because the Nugget price is controlled by the Treasury value right now, you have that kind of separate. You're protected from that. So even if prices do go down on things and our bots maybe go down, or we have some liquidity pools that kind of go down, you're still benefiting from being able to pull out rewards weekly based on revenue that's generated from the stuff that still is working. So it's very unique in what's been available on the space, where even when times are down, you can still generate your passive income and take some funds from there. Then the compounding side of it, that 20% that Lazy was talking about, that acts kind of as a little bit of a barrier for the price going down too much. Obviously, anything can happen. As Mike Sharp says there, what happens if Nugget price drops? You shouldn't necessarily see it drop by that amount, even in a black swan event, because again, most of these projects have been built on one pillar. With us, it would be very hard to say. Obviously, Bitcoin going down is going to affect the market as a whole, but it going to zero is somewhat unlikely. And even if it did go down drastically, it's not going to tank the fees that are being generated from the farming, right? So there's that ability to kind of protect ourselves and hedge ourselves against the market going either direction because of the mechanics and how it's set up. So just something really interesting that I think is very important to note on how this is set up and how it's processed.
Okay.
And maybe Marcelo, you wanted to go into what has happened, like James with hybrid.
Like what? Like
just
people who were in hybrid before.
Okay. They were asking. Yeah. If you're still in hybrid, I suggest you come over to the Discord, open a ticket, and I will switch you over to Nugget. Or I gave people the choice also. I will buy you out. There's a little bit of a fee if you do the buyout, because I have to liquidate funds. But slowly over time, I hope to get, eventually it'll be 100%. I think we got most people already moved over to Nugget. There's I think just a few people that I'll post announcements every 2 to 3 weeks and like, hey, come on. So yes, so hybrid bond is closed. It's not generating anything right now, but you can move over to Nugget. It's pretty easy. You just tell me what NFTs you have. James went through it. I have this.
And to clarify, it's not that it's closed per se. It's the assets being taken over by Nugget, and it's continuing on, helping everybody as a whole. So you still get those benefits.
Okay.
Marcel didn't just walk away with the assets.
Yes.
No.
Thank you, Marcel, for not doing that. Let's see. Other questions here from the audience. Talked about that. It's nice. Justin watches the comments, so most of these being answered. What percentage of the treasury is allocated to each strategy?
I can divulge that.
While he's looking that up, the overall answer is that's a fluid number.
Yeah.
We stay very agile, and we move. Like, we all know that everybody's talking that Bitcoin is hopefully headed for Mars, and when that does, the bots are going to outperform the yield farms, and so the balance will probably tip in that direction. But Marcelo, go ahead and share where we're at now.
Yeah. So we've been in this just this crazy consolidation period, right, for quite a while, which the farms have done really well. So we've started moving towards the bots more. So we were at like almost 78% with the farms a week ago, and now we're at 71% farms, about 19% bots, and then we have a few holdings that when we do yield farming, you kind of want to keep some not stable assets, but something that's kind of a buffer, like clean tokens, right? You're farming Solana, so you keep some Solana, and we have our little strategy of holdings, but that's about 4.9% right now, and that'll grow, I hope, a little bit over time, just to also like a buffer for impermanent loss, or the market's down a bit, or when the market goes up too, because with the farms, unless you're there 24/7, you'll lose out on the wins as well, if it's out of range for too long. But so it's something about that. And then we have a few sunk costs, some NFTs that we purchased. That's about a little less, for like 4.9%. So almost everything is in yield farming now, and eventually it'll probably be 50-50 with bots. And if it starts going crazy, then we'll have probably a little bit higher percentage on bots than yield farming. If it's too volatile, I guess, the market.
Okay. Awesome. Love it. Yes. Thank you, Justin. Any questions, guys? Please lay it on us. So next thing I want to ask about is how is this going to be different than the rest of the space? So we've seen a lot of things come and go and things where they have a plan to be, we're going to be around for 3 years and then it doesn't work out. So what would you say to people? Probably most people in the audience have lost in one thing or another.
Or on the
What would
stage.
you say? Yeah,
Yeah.
or on the stage,
Yeah.
yes, totally. So
I-
what would you say to people that
I'm
this
one of
is gonna be
those.
different?
Yeah. No, the big thing, and I think I've kind of hinted to this quite a bit, but a lot of it comes down to accountability, right? We've set up things differently, and even before recent events happened, we set up things differently, and we're even doing more as changes happen to make sure we stay different. It's being managed like a business. There's communication amongst the team. There's all these different things that we haven't really seen in this space in any type of consistency. So it's just that's really the biggest thing alone. And the fact that our funds are not all sitting in one space under one asset, all of these things I think make up that. And by all means, guys, if you have anything to add to that, I appreciate it. So, but I just want to make sure those got really rang home.
Yeah. James, could you bring the website back up?
I sure can.
If you jump over to dashboard. Oh, sorry. No, the DApp part.
Did that. Dashboard.
Jump over to the dashboard.
There you go.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind revealing that one. But
No,
as
that's
you can
fine.
see on the top, you have our amount of funds that have been invested in the Nugget that is been. But take a look at the two charts. I think that these are kind of important for people as a big overview. We're posting and keeping track of our returns and our price of our token. It is changing and fluctuating. And so people are going to see this, but I think that Pocket hit a really big point here. There is nobody on this team that has not taken huge losses in the past on other projects. And as I said, when Marcelo and I started this, before we even brought the others on board, the number one thing was we wanted to build something that we knew wasn't going to rug. We weren't going to steal the money. We're going to build it ethically and as transparent as we could. And I like to say we're completely transparent to the point where we risk exposure of funds that our citizens or our depositors hold with us. We take that responsibility very seriously, and we take great care. Like Pocket said, again, we talk among the team constantly, and you won't always see it in the discords, but we are always looking at security issues, at investment issues, whatever it is we're doing. It's a very, very busy stream, and at times it's like, am I ever going to get anything done, or do I have to stay up right here stay on the stream? So it is the best we can do with today's world to be consistent, safe as we can make it, and long-term survivability.
And another little piece of transparency, kind of separate but the same, is Jesus Kachaya there. You might want to pull one of his comments out. So he's actually our liquidity farmer, or our main one, obviously. So I didn't realize if it was him for sure or not until he started making the comments. And I wanted to make sure he was okay with me calling him out. So I was waiting for him to get into his DMs, but he did. That is who's helping us with our liquidity farming. It's part of the team. Again, not just some guy we're hiring. Shiny theoretically, but to be honest, we kind of consider him part of the team, but he is kind of his separate entity. But I mean, he's one of us as well, and he's agreed to kind of in that sense. He even gets his own little spot on and a character on our town. So we appreciate him too. But just thought I'd throw that out there. So
okay, awesome, love it. Audience, keep the questions coming, and I will bring up those. We got a few here. Let's see. Any chance Nugget citizens can join a farming class? Any education in the future?
I mean, so our main
guess
guy is very,
that'd be
very,
upwards.
very, very closed off on what he does and his strategies. I mean, it was not hard for him to show us his wallets that he's using for us, but definitely something I'm not sure that would happen. There is lots of resources out there for that. I've even had some on my channel, and you have as well. But I don't want to speak for the team. We haven't really discussed that, I guess, but it's something we can take away, I guess, unless you guys have something else to add.
Yeah, that would be up to him. I wouldn't be comfortable teaching yet. I can do it, but I'm nowhere close to what he does. Like, yeah, he knows his
Yeah,
stuff.
I support what you're saying, Pocket, is that it's unlikely because, quite frankly, with what the three of us have been developing with his help, is really probably very unique in this space. I don't know from anything I've ever seen in any YouTube about yield farming or any other source that people are even looking at the concepts that we're implementing. And so I don't think we want to have the competition trying to run against us on this, quite frankly.
Now, on the other side of it, though, on the bot side, Shiny has discussed about possibly doing courses again and stuff, because it's as much as it's easy to teach that stuff, it's still also hard to do it as well as he does it. So, I mean, there's some giving the secret sauce, if you will, but not as crazy. So he has shown interest. We will be looking into that, and again, talking as a team and seeing what value we can bring, because we don't necessarily want to hide stuff that's going to help people, but at the same token, we have to support what we're trying to do here and how we're trying to do it. So yeah.
Now
Yep,
that's not
balance there.
that's not to say that in the future we might not
Yeah.
discuss having an actual just yield farming cell. Who knows?
Okay, awesome. Nope, good answer. There's a good balance there, so totally get that. We got Matt, which good to see you, Matt. I've been down to visit Matt in person before, so good to see you, brother. He says, currently you allow a 24-hour window at the end of an epic to forge Nugget at the price that is more beneficial to the community. Will that continue as the project grows, or is it a limited time bonus?
There's very limited I guess deflation that happens for that event. I mean, Marcelo might be able to talk a little bit more to the numbers, but there's very little deflation that gets created by that kind of benefit we give to the community. So I don't personally see it stopping anytime, because, like I said, even if we had a pretty massive increase in deposits and it was during a time where there was maybe a larger swing in the price, I don't see it having a massive effect. But anything else from you guys?
Probably it'll probably keep going. That's just and as our treasury has grown, it
becomes less of an impact.
Unless we get something crazy. Like we had a few weeks where we had some I think we had like we had 1 week it was over 400% increase in TVL. And and that's when I was just like, why am I doing calculations wrong? And then I finally realized it's just like, oh, they all bought it for cheaper, and then we increased the price, and now the treasury is based off of that price.
And theoretically, really the only time there'd be
within a week, like
exactly. And the only time there'd really be a gap is during that week, because we recalculate it the week later. So if there was any type of inflation or deflation, it would get washed out right at that moment with the price of the token changing. So
Just one more little thing. If you jump over to our Discord, you can go anytime you like. There's another channel that is Nugget Images. If you go in there, there is a graphic of the epoch cycle with an explanation.
Yeah, it'll never change. That's part of it's not like a deal that we're doing.
Okay, very good.
Unless we start getting $1 million deposits, then maybe
then we'll have to make some adjustments, which understandable. And I just left a link to the Discord. So if you're wanting, if you have questions, you can hop in there too. And there's a lot of information in there. It's a very transparent team in Discord, I would say. So appreciate that. Let's see.
Snorky,
okay.
He said, that's a good idea from Snorky.
Okay, if it becomes a problem, we could limit the amount of cheap nuggets during the grace period. So good answers. So if people want to get in, is all you talk through the process I know there's the OTC and the
Yeah,
saloon. And kind of just walk us through these different things.
So the first thing will be the blacksmith, and if anybody wants to jump into it and interrupt me, but I thought I'd just kind of take this one a little bit. So that's your first step. If you're new to Nugget, that's where you go. And then from there, what you'll do is you'll choose how many nuggets. I know it looks a little bit. So when you're in the max screen there, it's actually how many nuggets you're going to forge. You can do a round number, whatever. So it doesn't matter. You can hit max in your wallet or whatever. You'll approve that transaction by obviously hitting the approve button. And I don't know if you wanted to hit it. I know it if you don't mind, just so I can show the next part of the screen. You don't have to buy more, but I won't also stop you from it either.
There we go.
And then, as you can see, there's two options here. So your forging will just create the nugget inside your wallet, and that's it. That's all. You won't earn anything during the next epoch, if you don't forge and stake. You can do it as two separate things, but as Snorky is always doing, he's always making everything a little bit better. So if you hit the forge and stake, it automatically puts it in your pool that will then be earning for the next epoch when that arrives. And that's really it. The next part that I will show you, though, as mentioned, the bank obviously is where you'll claim, and you can unstake at that point if you choose to. The other big piece of the website right now, and if we want to go through the other details, Justin, I'll let you guys do that, is the OTC. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, is there what's the penalty for unstaking?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There is no taxes on any of this except for the next part I'm going to show you. So there is zero taxes to buy, zero taxes to sell.
Justin, I'm going to jump in on that one. If you go over to the OTC.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment because I've heard a couple of comments and people have gone, what? And when you look at this, that's the complete history of the OTC since the day it released. People aren't selling very much. They really are hanging on to the Nugget. So we kind of take that as a good performance indicator. But I did want to mention, you're going to see down there from April 18th to May 20th that there were some 11-cent sales. I don't want people to panic. Those were actually contest giveaways. And I had done those as kind of a joke, and if people discovered they were on there, they got a heck of a bargain on one nugget. So I just want to introduce that before.
No, that's perfect.
Anybody
so this is the only screen where there is a fee, 5%. If I'm make sure I'm not quoting anything wrong. Yeah. So if you do sell your nugget, there is a 5% fee. So you do want to be cautious. You don't want to buy day one, sell day two when the price hasn't changed. But it's not hard to experience, and we've seen it over the time. Experience a nice little 5% pump in price, and then your fee to sell is zero, and hopefully you've made a claim or two, and you've offset it. But for buying and selling the token, we did start with a little one, but we got rid of it fairly darn quickly, just to make things easy for people. And we're not looking to make millions off of the movement of the tokens. We make our fee based on the actual revenue we generate, as it should be, and as we've seen with most successful projects. So yeah.
Okay. Very good. And then Saloon, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let one of the guys do that.
Yeah, I can. One of the other things that we have managed to do was this other project called PvP Money is a casino, and they had a unique opportunity for projects to partner up with them and actually invest on the house side of the program so that they'd have funds to finance the games and the cycle. And we have done that with them. And so if anybody comes to the saloon, if they want and do enjoy playing some of the games, they can click on that link and that will take them directly there. And actually, if you use that link, Nugget receives a little bit of funds back from their gameplay, so you can benefit our program directly into the Treasury, which actually is a bit of a benefit for rewards, and it really is a lot of fun. The games are pretty addictive, actually, but the saloon in general is going to be the fun part of our ecosystem, and we envision other things happening here in the future. We don't even know. We've discussed lotteries, and we were looking at our own games, but I think this is potentially a better solution for us right now. But this is a place to keep track and look for the fun part of us.
And not to go too far into PvP because it's another project, but we also don't mind shilling our partners a little bit. So that's Paul Dutton. Some of you may know him as a YouTuber as well. And he's kind of he's still doing some videos, but in the most part, he's hyper focused on this. And it's been just a neat little project that he's done that's grown quite nicely and got some partnerships. And I thought it was a great kind of opportunity for us to partner up with something that kind of fit our saloon kind of vibe that we were hoping to create. And it also saves us down the road if we decide to kind of marry it up with actual game tables, not actually creating the process ourselves. It gives us an opportunity to let somebody else do some of that work and leave Snorky to other things that we want him to do with dev work.
Okay, awesome. And then cashier, this is just the swapper.
Yeah, so this would be our saloon token, which is part of that saloon if that once those do come to fruition. So there's some other ideas we have for that. I don't know if we want to get into very much detail there, but by all means, if you guys do, go ahead. But that's future stuff, I guess. Really.
Okay, maybe we wait and do another AMA on that in the future.
Yeah, cashier will be a while.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then what's this disclaimer section? I'm just kidding. No, that's the legal stuff. So make sure you read through that if you want all the details. Okay, let's talk about risks. Unless there's something else you want to talk about, Marcel.
And really quick, because I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we were talking about the sell for the shiny Jackal bot, the soft cap is $100,000, just in case someone was like, $200,000. Like,
I thought it was 2. My bad.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay. We changed it a bunch of times, and shiny has a 20K minimum usually for personal ones, but just if we're putting a bunch of people together, we pretty much got like 100K would be probably doable and worth it for everyone.
Okay.
And that'll give, because when we started setting back up the whole thing where people could do self-custody, we obviously knew not everybody could do 20K. And again, a lot of people definitely know shiny and wanted maybe that exposure, but maybe don't want to take the extra risk of having the liquidity farms. Although I feel, and I think most people realize there's some value to having that diversity. Maybe they're already doing their own liquidity farming, but they want a piece of their portfolio that's doing the bot process. So it gives us all those different abilities. As for risk for Nugget Fund itself, again, we've kind of hinted on it a little bit, but really we've diversified to avoid as much of it as possible. So even Black Swan events with one side of our pillar, the other pillar could help hold it up quite nicely. Obviously, anything can happen. Do your own research, all that regular mumbo jumbo, but the whole idea of this has been to, and with our minds combined kind of thing, avoid all of the Black Swan events from literally wiping us out and giving opportunities to make sure we could still move forward. And because again, every project we've seen that has one pillar, they end up, something goes wrong and they're like, sorry guys, I don't know what to do anymore. Like unless you guys want to give us more money, we'll like, so yeah, that's, I don't know if we really have anything. And again, I'm happy to be corrected or educated. I just don't know if, because of how we've structured it, if we have anything that's really, and I hate to say it, but that could wipe us out. I don't want to jinx it, obviously, knock on wood. But.
Yeah, I would say a crypto crypto breakdown, like
World War III.
Yeah,
I mean,
stuff that we're not going to care about this money anymore, anyways. Any of us.
Yeah,
but
no,
but there is one risk about the shiny bot sell that hasn't been mentioned, and that is if you do get into there and it gets started, it's going to be a challenge because you're going to be looking over at Nugget Fund and you're going to be a little tempted to want to put your rewards over into Nugget Fund and get started with the whole broad spectrum thing. So just know if you get in there, you're always going to have this little taste on the side waiting to sucker you in.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jesus just obviously says even the farms are diversified amongst itself. Like we've tried to make things very as safe as possible, but again, nothing's perfect.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. Keith says, can you address the max mint amount of NGET?
Yeah, I think we totally skipped over the tokenomics. But
no one cares about tokenomics.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. No, we have 1 million. That is going to be the maximum.
Very hard cap.
hopefully we hit that someday. Yeah, once we hit that, I think there was another question like, what would we do once we hit that? We have some plans for it, yeah, it's either going to be version 2, like, so it's a different treasury, but lazy dog knows my dream is to build like a fun little arbitrage play, so there might be some LP someday, which wouldn't affect your returns and it wouldn't affect the treasury value ever. Um, just
I
so
was hard
everyone knows.
against this idea, but we've had some pretty good chats, and by the time we have that kind of volume inside of our ecosystem, the risk will be mitigated. But again, that's long time
That's
away. But the idea would
hopefully
be to have
sooner
a
than
liquidity
later.
pool.
But
Hopefully,
yeah,
of course, but that would be having a liquidity pool, allowing people to buy and sell the token openly, and create some pretty interesting price action, considering it would be very close to max out, or it would be maxed out at that point.
well, it'd be maxed out. No one would be able to, and we'd still have
Yeah.
the OTC, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to, yeah.
You could make there was choices, but again, down the road for sure.
Yeah, 1 million
Okay.
tokens.
Okay. Very good. This has been really informative. I actually just looked up at the clock and I was like, oh, we're probably 20 minutes in, 55 minutes we're at. So time flies when you're having fun. I was like, oh man, this is going to be a short AMA, but it is not. Is there anything else you guys want to address before we kind of wrap up with some calls to action here?
Just a quick.
Go ahead, sorry.
I think Bladida had a good question. He's been in hybrid for a really long time, so I hope he trusts me that I haven't been paying our weekly rewards with a newly minted Nugget. But that is a good question. Like, that's the whole Ponzi-nomics thing. I hope, it all comes down to trust, really. We can't be 100%. We can't open up all our wallets and let you see all of our, you can't get into my exchange and look at my account numbers and everything like that, because I know what people do to try to hurt projects. But yeah, it comes down to trust, and what I've always, and I think the whole team have been really into, is to show the truth. If the yield, like this week, is not going to be very high, and we're going to report that. If it's higher, it's great. It's just what it is. We do our best to get ourselves as well and our investors the best returns possible.
And along those lines, again, with the accountability is like, what would have to happen for that to be happening is all of us have decided together to be unethical to our people, to everybody, and that would have to be, the whole group would have to go that route, and that's just not
allowed.
Yeah.
And as a little bit of indirect proof of that, if you do go take a look at our reward postings day to day, you're going to see on there the amount of Nugget that are minted each and every day. And if you try to correlate that with the weekly rewards, you're going to find that they absolutely do not map to each other. The rewards are consistent. They're coming from what we're doing with the farming and the bots and everything else. And there's no need for us to play any game. But when you do forge the Nugget token, it does go directly to the Treasury. It goes to the Gnosis wallet. And then those funds get dispersed among some discussion, and they go out to all the different phases to be invested. And so, honestly, quite frankly, we're doing well enough. There's no reason we'd even want to think about doing that.
Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, this has been very informative. I'm going to talk about calls to action. Again, the free ones is hop in the Discord. If you have more questions, you just want to get to know the team, you want to, get all the info, hop in the Discord. They do have a lot of documents too. Let's see. There's a white paper here that you can read through, 15 pages. And then they do have a Git book as well. So there's a lot of stuff you can look through if you want more info. We obviously did not cover 15 pages and the whole the whole Git book here. So if you want more info, go read those. Go follow on Twitter. And if you like this idea, if you say, hey, I want to be involved in these different revenue streams, I want cryptocurrency mining, I want trading with Shiny Jackal, I want yield forming. I want eventual real world investments. I like Justin. I like Marcelo. I like Lazy Dog. I want them to have a part of my financial future. Then hop on over in here. And I think the easiest way is Blacksmith. And you need USDC. Which chain is this on, by the way?
Oh, yeah, Arbitrum, and you actually can
Arbitrum.
do it with USDT as well. If you click on the USDC thing, you can actually choose.
Look
between
at
the two.
that!
Yeah.
You guys just make it so easy.
Hey, Sorky's a whiz.
Yeah, it's on Arbitrum. So, and if you need help getting bridged over to Arbitrum, if that's not one that you've used, let the team know. There's many different ways you can do it. I was actually looking if I'm partnered with Gasify, and I'm seeing if they do Arbitrum. They do. Okay, so I'll mention them because they're a partner. But Gasify.ai, you can bridge over to Arbitrum, and I love Gasify. It takes like 6 seconds. It's been pretty amazing. Bridging everywhere else has been a huge pain for me. Gasify has been amazing, but yeah, just bridge over to Arbitrum, and then you can hop in here. You just approve the token, and then you can forge it. But I would recommend you forge and stake. Do not forge and forget to stake. I could see that being me and Justin before this. We thought maybe I had done that because I am irresponsible. But I did stake when Justin had told me to stake when I got it. So,
hey, James,
stake. Yeah, go ahead.
On that Gasify, I didn't catch it quite quick enough. Do they have the option to send a little gas ahead of time, since ETH is the token that pays the gas fees?
Yes, and they actually have something, send gas. Yeah, so you can send gas. I don't know exactly how it works, but yes, you can send gas on there.
I'll have to check that one out because we use Core All Bridge, which I find is very good if you're going chain to chain, and they will give you some gas. But this, I'll have to take a peek at this.
I like this one. Just the maximum is $750 right now, so that's limiting. If you're wanting to do more than that, but it's the fastest that I've seen. Like, I was amazed because I used to use multi-swap and I'd wait 45 minutes sometimes.
Oh,
and
man,
it's just like, and those were the days. So you're going to get some money over in Arbitrum, some USDC. You will need a little bit of gas, but not very much. Arbitrum's pretty cheap. And then you're going to forge and stake. And then when you're in the bank, right? Yes, yeah. The bank, you'll have some pending rewards here. And again, like Justin said, I think it's worth like maybe $400 in there right now. Yeah, $400. And I had about $67 to claim after maybe 3 weeks. I didn't look up the exact date, but that sounds about right. So that's a pretty good return. You got to be happy with that. You can't complain about that, but that's how you would get in. So anything else you guys can think of? We're at over an hour, so I'm ready to wrap up. But any final words of inspiration for us here to bless our Wednesday?
Just be safe, guys. Do your research, and please don't hesitate to come in. I feel like we've had some great questions here, but I don't know if they were quite as challenging as they could be. So don't hesitate to come in. I mean, I've used James to vet a lot of projects that I've gotten or not gotten into. So this is a great time to do that, but you still got to come and have a chat with us. And we're an open book. You'll see in the chat, it's pretty darn transparent as best as we can. So challenge us. We're here. And as Marcelo often says, we're here for a long time. So yeah, anything else?
Amen.
Guys?
Amen.
Amen.
Let's see. Oh, we did have some more audience. I didn't even see them. I didn't scroll down. Thanks, Marcelo, for answering. There's people thanking you. So looking forward to real world investments. If Rabby Wallet is supported, they have a free gas feature, which it is supported, and that's what they use. Let's see. Anything else? Nope. I think that's it. So awesome. We will wrap up there. Audience, you guys are amazing. Appreciate you guys each and every day. God bless you all. And Justin, Marcelo, Lazy Dog, nice having you on the channel again. And thanks for bringing this to the audience. And let me know if there's anything I can do to help as we go forward.
Can I throw in one last little tiny bit of alpha?
Oh, yes. Yes, please do.
Friday is going to be our 100th day of profits in a row. So we're going to have a little celebration with that, and there's going to be prizes and giveaways to investors and people that put money in. So if you're thinking about it, you might want to take that into a little consideration. So a little alpha leak for Friday.
There you go.
Okay, love it. Love the alpha. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. This has been great. We'll talk to you all later and have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.